today's climate, it's pretty easy to match certain trends and things together. Now, for the longest of times, growing up in the 80s and 90s, didn't really see Hollywood and politics so closely married to each other. Then over the years, it seems like the gap had been closed more and more, especially on the Democratic side. We see a lot of these so-called civil rights leaders talking about Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton, and you know these dudes get in front of the camera every chance they get, just to tell the black race how much of a victim they are, and to tell all the other races, especially white people, how much of oppressors you are. You are victimizing these people. These people can't defend themselves. This is what was ingrained in what you can view now as a massive propaganda brainwashing campaign that took place for decades on top of decades on top of decades, to the point where it's seared in the minds of the black community as a whole. And if you were not a strong-willed, strong-minded person, it was so easy for you to be mentally damaged and scarred, especially if something inside you, based on whatever insecurities you grew up with, eats away at you daily. It just made it so much easier for these people to just fuck up your head mentally. And all these stories, all these dark rumors about some of the things that these Hollywood A-listers and Hollywood actors are engaged in over the years, we took it with a grain of salt. We kind of shrugged our shoulders like, okay, yeah, I don't know. I mean, what could you say? Because you're not in that life. The only thing you know about these people is whatever character they're playing on a big screen or on TV. And whenever they would get in trouble, occasionally get in trouble with the police, and then they would be on the news, you would hear about that. And then that would spawn other rumors and other, whispers in the dark, whispers in the shadows that, from our point of view, may or may not be true. We didn't know. But in today's times, see, with all the era of information that we're in, a lot of the people, and I'm talking about overall, I'm talking about the Democratic Party, liberal-minded thinking actors and actresses that cape for them, and whoever's pulling their strings that they answer to. When the age of information burst onto the scene, they only viewed it as a positive for them. It was a net positive for them. They didn't look at the possibility that it would be a net positive for the people also. Because now our voices, opinions, thoughts, concerns, and information can be spread within an instant with a click of a button all over the world. That's why you have these Democrats rallying and protesting, and how they want to silence the American people. They want more censorship. Now they're not even being metaphorical about it. They're not even, dog whistling anymore. They're on their bullhorns and actually saying this shit out loud and blatantly, that they want to censor the American people. They don't want to hear our voices because in their mind, our voices being heard made it so much easier for Donald Trump to take the presidency, but they don't realize the common sense factor. We might not be able to communicate with each other in like this current age of podcasting and stuff like that. Millions of people listen all over the world. But see, the people in other countries all over the world, they might not have known what was going on, but they know now they can't vote in our elections anyway. So for them to be the Democrats and the Hollywood elites that run in Democrat circles, for them to be concerned that we're speaking to people all over the world, that was going to happen here as far as grassroots movements anyway. Everybody is tired of all the woke bullshit. The wokey woke, everybody's tired of it. And even if we can't talk to each other on the internet, we have phones. We have neighbors we can talk to. It would still get done. This outcome was destined to happen. It was meant to happen. It was written. Shout out to Nas for that album. That's one of the coldest albums ever. But yeah, it was written. And this is why you have so many people, especially black men, who decided to vote for Trump and been voting for Trump the past few elections, as a matter of fact, because we seen the writing on the wall. We see what's going on. And it's bled to every sector of society. Look at the game, look at the video games, look at the movies, the TV shows. Look at the dating environment. All this pulled into how people voted. And this is why the Democrats always reach out to the celebrities. Come speak on our behalf. How much money do you need? Yeah, we know Molly paid for these stars to speak on her behalf, and that shit still didn't fucking work. Because she's a trash ass candidate. She couldn't even get through the primaries in 2020. Well, how the fuck y'all think she was going to be the president this time around? So I found an old article from last year. Article posted by Hannah Marder. I can't emphasize enough how filthy some of these people are. 39 Hollywood secrets people have learned from working with celebs. I haven't read this yet, but I'm pretty sure she probably self-censored a lot of information in this article, because you know there's a lot of things you can't say. There's a lot of things you got to be careful what you say and how you say it. And this is another reason why it's like a slow leak what's being exposed about Hollywood, what they do, how they get down, and how they're so hell-bent on supporting the Democrats, and the Democrats have blatantly come out and said they are for censorship. Look at what's going on in Germany. Y'all hear about them knocking on people's doors because of something they posted or shared online that they agreed with? They didn't make any kind of additional comment. All they did was share it. And now you have police knocking on people's doors, confiscating their phones and their laptops. Writing them tickets to pay fines. Some people are going to jail. And when they confiscate their phones or laptops, from what I understand from the couple stories I've seen and videos I've seen, they don't even get them back. They just come and take your shit. And other countries are looking at this because they know that the citizens and the people are communicating with each other, sharing information, learning how to maneuver, finding out what's going on before it's too late, rising up, standing up against tyranny and things we don't agree with. And this is why the Democrats are so hell bent on censorship. I don't know the bald headed lady's name, bald headed witch, whatever her name is, but she blatantly said it. It's time to censor the American people. Let me tell you something, bitch. Ain't gonna be no censoring nothing. Because you can take our microphones, we'll grab a bullhorn. You take our bullhorns, we still got a voice. And you will never take our voices. Because you can bet your bottom dollar. One thing is for fucking sure. Gen X Media 7, we all about that free speech. Freedom of speech for the people, by the people. Let's read some of this article right quick. See how far Hannah is willing to go. A while back, a Reddit user, I can't even pronounce that. I'm going to leave a link to this in the description box. You guys can check it out too, what I'm about to read. People who have worked with celebrities, what do we know about them? People had a lot to say, and the responses were super interesting. Here's the down low on the celebs, on what celebs are really like. And this kind of piggybacks on a video I did recently about Jennifer Gardner and her choosing to read a book called Secret Pizza Party. And this book basically tries to influence kids into keeping secrets. And the FBI has come out saying that one of the key words that PDF files chooses to, when they're going to commit those acts against children, they label them pizza. And Jennifer Gardner elected to choose that book out of other books that she had a choice to choose. Ironically, she chose that one. So I'm just saying, it just, I don't know, but it just seems kind of odd and peculiar, kind of weird and strange. Why that book? I don't know. I'm just asking a question. You tell me. I've known a bunch of minor B-C list celebs, musicians, Broadway, movies, all of it. One of my very best friends is a C-list working actor. 15, 20 years ago, in my younger years, we'd go to parties around Hollywood and run into other C-listers. One of the things that sticks out to me as a theater kid myself is that they are all the obnoxious, annoying theater kids who sang hymn in the hallways and had a lot of feelings. They all had that energy. The parties would sometimes get really weird. I wonder how weird. Are we talking eyes wide shut weird, or, I mean, what weird do y'all think she's talking about? And deep down, these are not the cool kids. I always remember that when people hold celebs up to these super high standards and take political and life advice from them. They're just people. They're the theater kid from school, and everyone needs to calm down. You kind of being very glossy, right? This one was from, okay, it might have been a Twitter tweet. I can't pronounce these usernames these people be using. Here's a second one, an opinion about Hollywoood. Number 2, I make movies and TV for a living. There are definitely differences between actors and movie stars. Most actors are just normal, everyday humans that you wouldn't pick out of a crowd. They're usually quirky as hell, but just people. Movie stars tend to have a very specific charisma and a way about them that sets them apart. For example, my boss, who is a producer and has worked with tons of actors at all levels, went to George Clooney's for a meeting and said that it was hard not to feel starstruck because he made you feel like you had his full attention and you were the only one that mattered when he was speaking to you. So these are just basic what a lot of people are saying. Now, a lot of these people, it sounds like they still work in the industry. So how far will they really go to expose some of the quirkiness? And when I say quirkiness, I'm not talking about like weird, socially awkward things that they might do or say, things like that. No, I'm talking about the deep underbelly that we're slowly seeing seep out within the last 6 months to a year. Certain stories that have broken. We know the stories. We know the people involved. We've seen the videos, the hotel foot. We've seen it. And he's not alone. Don't think for 1 second that man is alone in this. He's not even the top dog when it comes to this. He might end up being the fall guy, just to keep people away from the top dogs. But I'm willing to bet it's running rampant. And that's why I said I just can't get over why Jennifer Gardner would pick that book. And a lot of people have the same question, especially with the FBI labeling those code words. How it's just so ironic that she would go for that book. That shit is very disturbing. Let's see what number 3 talking about. You'd be surprised at the bad hygiene and bad teeth on a lot of celebs. Oh yeah, they get that work. Got to get that surgery done. Got to fix them teeth. Can't have teeth looking like a compass pointing in every different direction. Got to get it straight. Especially dudes. Also, there are lots of filthy mansions with pets using the floor as a pee pad. Ugh. A lot of cars, clothes, and houses are borrowed from actual rich people who want proximity to celebrities. I can't emphasize enough how filthy some of these people are. Like they've had no home training. Let's go back to a key part of this. A lot of cars, clothes, and houses are borrowed from actual rich people who want proximity to celebrities. See, that might be when it comes to black men, that might be a door opening for buck breaking. Oh, you want to look the part, you want access to more opportunities, so you go to actual rich people and they let you hold down one of their mansions. Let's say they have a multitude of mansions, 4 or 5 different mansions. Hey, you could hold down this mansion right here as long as me and you cool, and there's proximity. You could call it how you want. What you think proximity means? I mean, you know, you know, proximity. That's an interesting way to put it. Readily. Been in LA a long time. Known or acquainted with lots of AD list peeps. And many of those houses look like a college student's first apartment inside. Like, it's shocking. Also, no concept of money. They'll hand you $100 bill for your valet. Having said that, most are really nice, golden retriever types who are just blissfully ignorant of the real world. I've only met one or two genuine assholes. So there's lots of different stories and opinions here. But that other one was kind of interesting. Proximity. Because a lot of these celebs, so-called celebs, whatever you want to call them, they be struggling actors and actresses a lot. And now the women, a lot of them, I believe they want, if they wasn't famous, a lot of the actresses probably would be on OnlyFans. Because being a struggling actor has been a thing for a long time. Going out to Hollywood, looking for your first break, and having to work a part-time job that turns into full-time hours because you got rent to pay and stuff to pay. You got acting school, and you got to do this. You got to pay an agency or whatever, however that works. You got expenses until you actually make it. So the struggling actor thing, you can just imagine what some of these people would do or have done over the years. That's why none of this surprises me. Any rumors and stuff that have come out over the years, I'm like, yeah, I can definitely see that. Definitely see that. They would be on OnlyFans if they could. A lot of them won't make that move until they know for sure, like 100% sure, that their acting career is dead, done, never to be resurrected again. Then you would find some of these heifers on OnlyFans. Believe that. But I say all that to say this. Celebrities are not your friends. Stop looking up to these people, especially when they just come out of the woodworks and all of a sudden they're all gun ho and hell bent on supporting the Democratic Party. And the Democratic Party has proven by their policies and the way they treat people, they need people to be poor, force you to have to call on the government for assistance. It's the oldest trick in the book. Let's create the problem on purpose. And then when people are so desperate because the problem is kicking their ass, they come to us for the solution. A solution that was already pre-made the same time we created the problem. Oh, you come to us? Oh, we got a solution for you. Here you go. See how nice we are? We care about people. We care about the black community. Don't listen to anybody that tells you we don't. And what they do is hope that you go away thinking, I can always count on the Democrats. You know what? When is the next election? I'm going to make sure I vote for them every single time. And anybody that runs against them, especially if they're not black, that person is a racist. And if they are black, that person is a sellout and a coon. You see how the universal brain fuck goes? And a lot of y'all fall for it so easily. But what do I know? I'm just a guy with a mic. The kind of guy that the Democratic Party wants to silence. They don't want my voice being transmitted over these airwaves all over the fucking world because I might influence and spark the brain of somebody who will rise up and change the shit. But hey, y'all let me know what y'all think. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Subscribe to this channel. Share my shit. Yo, let's keep the communication growing and information exchanging going so we can get to where we trying to get to. The Democratic Party is going to eat themselves, self-cannibalize, and it looks great to me. Now that makes for great TV. I'm out.